I don't want your filthy money anymore. Get out. My mother's voice cracked through the living room like a whip. A sharp, cruel laugh followed, slicing the air, as though my very presence was the evening's punchline. The walls seemed to close in, every childhood photo staring back with hollow, mocking eyes. For a heartbeat, I couldn't move. My hands shook, breath shallow. This was the woman I once adored. The woman I worked myself raw for, taking on 2 jobs just to keep the lights on when the bills stacked high. Yet here she was, spitting venom like I was nothing but garbage, cluttering her freshly blessed life. Hi, my name is Aurelia. I'm 27. And this was the day my mother's betrayal seared itself into me forever. Do you know that feeling when the ground suddenly shifts, when every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every ounce of love you poured into someone feels like it was wasted on the wrong person? That was me, standing in the ashes of a bond one thought could never be broken. She clutched the lottery ticket like holy scripture, her hands trembling with glee. She didn't look at me as her daughter anymore, but as an obstacle, something to be brushed aside. My brother chuckled smugly from the corner, as if he had been waiting for this exact moment his entire life. I wanted to scream, to remind her of the nights I spoon-fed her when she was sick, the days I covered rent, the times I starved quietly so she wouldn't. But my throat locked tight, because betrayal doesn't just wound, it silences. And then came the moment. She waved that ticket inches from my face, declaring it her golden key to freedom. My eyes dropped to it, scanning the numbers. At first, I wasn't sure. Then it clicked. And I laughed. Not a soft laugh. Not even bitter. But raw, uncontrollable laughter that tore its way out of me. Because what she thought she held wasn't what she believed. And the truth, sharp and merciless, was about to flip everything upside down. The room froze at my laughter. My mother's smirk faltered. "What's so funny?" she demanded. I stared straight at her, eyes burning, and whispered, "Because that ticket isn't even yours." The silence cut like a blade. My mother's face twitched, her smile cracking. My brother shifted on the couch, his grin sliding off as his eyes darted nervously between us. "What do you mean it's not mine?" she snapped, her voice trembling, the first fracture in her confidence. I leaned against the wall, suddenly calm. It was strange how laughter could slice through the fog of betrayal, turning despair into clarity. I said slowly, savoring every word. "That ticket you're parading like a crown jewel? It's mine. I bought it. I chose those numbers. I hid it under the sugar jar because I was going to check it after work." Her face drained white. My brother's jaw hung open, his smugness collapsing into disbelief. I remembered it clearly. 2 weeks ago, worn out from a double shift, I'd stopped at the gas station for milk, bread, and, on a whim, 1 lottery ticket. I almost never bought them. But something about that night made me scribble the numbers down. My mother never bought tickets. Ever. She always said they were a waste, until she found mine. "Liar," she hissed, clutching the ticket tighter, as if her grip could change the truth. "Why would you hide it in my kitchen if it was yours?" I stepped closer, locking eyes with her. "Because I trusted you. Because I believed this house was safe. Because it never even crossed my mind that my own mother would steal from me." The tension thickened. My brother muttered, "This is insane." But even he didn't sound sure anymore. The betrayal burned inside me hotter and hotter, but I kept my voice sharp, steady, surgical. "Do you really think money makes you untouchable? That it erases every debt, every lie, every time you leaned on me just to survive? If that's what you believe, then maybe you've already lost more than you've won." She tried to laugh, but it came out shaky, hollow. "No one will believe you. You're broke. I'll cash this in tomorrow, and by the time you try to fight me, the money will already be mine." This time I smiled, not out of humor, but something darker. Something final. "You might want to check that ticket again before you build your kingdom on it." Her hands trembled as she looked down. My brother leaned forward, holding his breath. I knew, in that suspended moment, the tide was shifting. She read the ticket once, twice, 3 times, her lips moving as if she could will the ink to change. Then the slightest flinch. "Mom!" My brother's voice cracked. "What's wrong?" "Nothing," she snapped, but her grip betrayed her, knuckles white, fingers shaking. I could almost hear her hopes splintering. I stepped closer, voice low and sharp, like a knife against her throat. The numbers match, don't they? But not the date. She froze. I let the silence stretch before twisting the blade deeper. That ticket you stole is last week's draw. Expired. Worthless. I already checked it. Her head jerked up, eyes wild, denial twisting across her face. My brother blinked, confused. What are you talking about? The news said. Yes. I cut him off. The news announced the winning numbers this morning. I bought another ticket yesterday. The real one. The winning one. And it's not here. The air left the room. My mother staggered back, slamming into the couch as if the truth had struck her. I leaned in, my words steady and searing. You threw me out. You humiliated me. You cut me down over a worthless scrap of paper, while the real fortune sat safe in my wallet. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. My brother's face turned pale, arrogance melting into fear. I could have left right then, ticket in hand, victory sealed. But something inside me, cold, poetic, wanted her to drown in that silence. So I whispered almost gently, you didn't just lose money tonight. You lost me. The one person who kept you afloat when the world didn't care if you sank. Her eyes shimmered, but pride held back the tears. She clung to the expired ticket like it was still her salvation. I turned toward the door, each step deliberate, my heart steady. My hand touched the handle. Aurelia, wait, she choked out. I didn't turn. I let the silence hang heavy, merciless, before stepping into the night. The lottery wasn't the prize anymore. Her downfall was. The night air bit against my skin, but it felt cleaner than the suffocating poison I had left behind. For the first time in years, I breathed without her shadow pressing down. The real ticket rested in my wallet, a quiet promise of freedom. But it wasn't the money that made me smile. It was knowing she had burned every bridge for nothing. Behind me, the door flung open. Aurelia! My mother's voice rang out. No arrogance this time, only panic. Her heels struck the porch in sharp bursts, her shadow quivering beneath the faint glow of the porch light. You can't just leave. You can't do this to me. I turned slowly, intentionally, letting her see the calm set on my face. Do this to you? Mom, you did this to yourself. Her fingers twisted the useless ticket until it crumpled, the paper squealing under her frantic grip. I made a mistake, all right? I got carried away. I wasn't thinking clearly. You know how I get when money's involved. Don't punish me for that. Her words scraped against me, but I didn't react. I'd heard them all before, wrapped in excuses, dripping with manipulation. I wasn't thinking. I didn't mean it. You know me. Each phrase had been an anchor, keeping me tethered to her chaos. Not anymore. My brother stepped into the doorway, arms crossed, but his eyes wide with unease. He wanted the money too. Just share it, Aurelia. Stop being selfish. Mom's right, you owe us. After everything she's done for you. That shattered something inside me. A bitter laugh tore out, sharp as shattered glass. Everything she's done? You mean the nights she let me go hungry so you could eat? The time she called me worthless because I couldn't bring in enough? Or maybe you mean tonight, when she threw me out the second she thought I had nothing left to give. My brother's jaw snapped shut. Mom's lips trembled, searching for another tactic. Please, she whispered. And then I saw it. Not power, not control, but fear. Fear of losing the leash she thought she held around my neck. I stepped off the porch, gravel crunching underfoot like punctuation. You didn't lose the money, Mom. You lost me. And unlike money, I can't be bought back. Her breath caught, but I didn't wait for a reply. I walked into the dark, her desperation trailing behind me. With every step, my resolve grew. The ticket wasn't just a shot at wealth. It was the severing of chains I hadn't realized were strangling me all along. But she wasn't going to let me go so easily. I should have known peace was too much to expect. By morning, my phone buzzed nonstop. Her number, my brother's, even unknown callers. I ignored them all, sipping bitter coffee while sunlight cut across the cracked countertop of my tiny apartment. For once, silence felt like armor. Then came the knock, loud, insistent. I opened the door to find her standing there. No longer frantic, but composed. Her makeup flawless, posture rigid, the expired ticket tucked neatly in her purse like it still carried weight. "Aurelia," she said smoothly, voice sweetened with rehearsed warmth. "Let's talk. We're family. Families don't let money come between them." I leaned against the frame, arms folded. "Funny. Last night you let money throw me out of my own home." Her smile faltered, but she pressed on. "I was overwhelmed, can't you see? But now we can fix this. I already spoke to a lawyer. He says it doesn't matter whose name is on the ticket. Since you live under my roof, winnings can be considered household property." Her words struck like ice water. My fists tightened. Overnight, she'd shifted from betrayal to strategy. "You're trying to steal from me legally?" I said, voice low. "No," she shot back too quickly. "I want us to share. Think about it. This is too much for you alone. You wouldn't know how to handle that kind of money. You've never been responsible." The insult slid in like a blade, twisting. My pulse roared in my ears, but I kept my face still. "Get off my doorstep," I whispered. Her smile cracked. "If you walk away, Aurelia, I'll destroy you. I'll tell everyone you stole the ticket. I'll drag you through court until you're broke. Do you really think anyone will believe you over me?" For a moment, old fear stirred. The child in me who had always bent under her weight. But then something stronger surfaced, a steady truth. I stepped closer, eyes locked on hers. "The difference between us, Mom, is I don't need anyone's belief. The lottery office will. The ticket's in my name. My ID, my purchase, not yours." Her breath caught. She hadn't expected that. I slammed the door in her face, the sound echoing like a gunshot. My hands shook, not with fear but resolve. She wasn't done, but neither was I. This time, the next move would be mine. By the end of the week, I knew she wouldn't back down. My mother thrived on control, twisting stories until the blame always landed on me. But I refused to play the quiet daughter swallowing shame anymore. If she wanted war, I'd take it to her. I began small. A call to the lottery office to confirm what I already knew. My ticket. My name. My proof. Then I went further, collecting every text, every receipt, every transfer where I'd bailed her out. Rent, groceries, medical bills, a record of sacrifices she'd always denied. And I released it. First to friends who had believed her lies, screenshots, transfers, photos of the winning ticket. My story spread like wildfire. Neighbors whispering, cousins messaging. "We never knew. We're so sorry." Sympathy drifted away from her, piece by piece, and landed on me. Her calls grew darker. One voicemail snarled. "You think humiliating me makes you strong? You'll regret this, Aurelia." Another tried guilt. "I carried you for 9 months, and this is how you repay me?" But the one that cut deepest was a broken sob through the static. "Please don't take everything from me. You're all I have." For a second, I almost wavered. Almost. Then I remembered her laugh as she threw me out, declaring I was nothing without her. That sound hardened me. So I went bigger. I reached out to a local reporter covering the lottery. When she asked if I wanted to share my rags to riches story, I agreed, on one condition. The full truth had to be told. When the article came out, it wasn't just about a daughter who won the lottery. It was about a daughter who had been discarded, belittled, and cast aside, only to rise anyway. My mom's smile was nowhere to be found. Her greed, her cruelty, it was all laid bare. The fallout was immediate. Old friends stopped calling. The neighbor she gossiped with crossed the street to avoid her. Even my brother, her golden child, stopped defending her as the weight of shame crushed down. For the first time, she wasn't the victim. She was the villain. And I was finally free of her story. Or so I thought. Her downfall came quicker than I imagined. Whispers became stares, polite smiles turned into cold avoidance. The woman who once strutted down the street like she owned it now slunk with her chin low, sunglasses hiding her shame. But surrender wasn't in her nature. She clawed like a drowning woman, dragging others down with her. She posted online, spinning new lies. My daughter betrayed me. She stole the winning ticket. I'm the real victim. For a few hours, some gullible voices believed. But then came the proof, my receipts, her venomous texts, the attempt to throw me out when she thought she'd struck gold. The internet turned fast, brutal. How could a mother treat her own child like that? She had everything and destroyed it. This is what greed does. Her account went silent. But the humiliation didn't stop online. At the grocery store, women whispered as she passed, "That's her, the lottery thief." At church, where she once paraded me as her shame, people shifted away from her pew. Even her loyal friends stopped answering her calls. And then came the call I'll never forget. Her voice shook, almost unrecognizable. "Oria," she said, choking on the word as if it burned. "I need you. People won't look at me. They won't listen. You've ruined my life. Are you happy now?" I sat with the receiver pressed to my ear, feeling nothing but a strange calm. "No, Mom," I said quietly. "I didn't ruin your life. You did the moment you chose money over me." Silence. For the first time, she had no retort. And in that silence I felt it, the shift of power, final and irreversible. But even with her collapse, one thing remained: closure. The justice that would seal every wound. When I finally held the real winning ticket, I didn't feel rich. I felt free. The money was just paper. The real prize was release from her chains. The truth had spread. Everyone knew what she'd done. She had no friends left, no sympathy, no power, only her pride. And even that was crumbling. I saw her once on the street, smaller than I'd ever seen her. She opened her mouth to speak, but I kept walking. No words left. No ties left. Because my justice wasn't the fortune. It was the silence. The peace. The freedom she could never take from me.